Hello BookTube, this is my July book haul. So these are the books that I bought for myself over the month of July. I'm going to start with the cookbooks, and then the history books, and then the manga, which is the bulk of my haul as they have been over the past few months. So let's get going. So the first of the two cookbooks I picked up this month, although I did order them together, is Mooncakes and Milk Bread by Kristina. So this is a cookbook dedicated to Asian baking, which I've gotten quite interested in the last few months. And I've been circling this book for a year or two now. So happy to finally have it. And I also picked up What's for Dessert by Claire Saffitz. This is the follow-up to Claire Saffitz's earlier Dessert Person, which I also have. Claire Saffitz is famous for her pastries. She rose to fame as part of the Bon Appetit test kitchen on YouTube, especially her Gourmet Make series, and she's subsequently, since 2000, spun off her own channel and has written 2 cookbooks, both of which are fantastic. I browsed through this cookbook earlier this week. Well, no, actually I think Saturday is when I browsed through it, so it was late last week. Or was it Friday? It was one of the two. And there are so many recipes from this cookbook I want to make. I'm quite happy to have it. Although I really should hold off on buying any more dessert-oriented cookbooks because I have way too many. But I do have a major sweet tooth. So for the history, I picked up 2. First up is Blood Royal by Robert Bartlett. So this is a book that looks at dynastic politics in the Middle Ages. And I've really wanted this book for quite a while, and I'm quite happy to have it. And I also picked up George VI and Elizabeth by Sally Bedell Smith. So this is a joint biography of King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. And I'm really looking forward to this. I read Bedell Smith's biography of now King Charles, and I loved it. And I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm really looking forward to picking up more books by Sally Bedell Smith. So now on to the manga. So I'm going to start with the first volumes. So I picked up Mashle, Magic and Muscles by Hajime Komoto. So this is a series about a young man named Mash who, in a world in which everyone has magical powers and your position in society is how powerful you are, Mash has no magical ability whatsoever. He compensates or overcompensates by developing his physical traits, his muscles. And he spends the entire series showing up these arrogant wizards. And if you notice, it kind of looks a bit like a Harry Potter. It's probably because it is. Not exactly, but very much inspired by Harry Potter. Next is Dark Gathering by Kenichi Kondo. So this is a series about a young man who can see spirits who is tasked to tutor a young girl who has ambitions towards the supernatural world in this setting. And I bit the bullet and picked up Volume 1 of Record of Ragnarok by Azychika, Shinya Umemura, and Takumi Fukui. So, Record of Ragnarok is about a tournament between the divine and the mortals. So every 1,000 years in the setting, the gods, all of them, come together to decide whether or not humanity deserves to exist for another 1,000 years. At the most recent meeting, the decision is that humanity should be wiped out. And the Valkyrie object and force the gods to initiate a competition, a tournament between representatives of humanity who have died and the gods. And whoever wins the most matches, because they're one-on-one fights between a mortal and a god, whichever side wins the competition will decide humanity's fate. Will humanity survive if the humans win, or will humanity be wiped out if the gods win? So I've been going back and forth whether or not I wanted to pick this series up, because on the one hand, let me see if I can find a really good example. That's a bit inappropriate. Okay. I love the artwork. But on the other hand, it's a series about humans trying to fight gods and winning. And I'm never entirely comfortable, or I don't really enjoy those kind of stories. I'm not the biggest fan of God of War. I love the look of the world, but Kratos going around slaughtering the Olympians and later the Asgardians, not so much enjoyment there. I had a few orders with Powell's, the independent bookstore in Portland, and I picked up 3 volumes of Naruto by Masashi Kishimoto, volumes 13, 14, which has seen better days, and 15. So Naruto is one of the most popular manga series in the world. It's about a young ninja named Uzumaki Naruto who discovers that he is the container for the nine-tailed demon fox, a monster that attacked his home village, or really home city, on the day of his birth. And this has resulted in him being the town pariah, which then resulted in him being the town troublemaker and the class clown. And Naruto dreams of nothing more than becoming the Hokage, the leader of his village. And over the course of the series, he grows and becomes more powerful and changes not only his village, but the world. It's a great series. I'm slowly working my way through it. I've got a ways to go. And I think I might, I'll do that. I'll talk about that at the end. Not only what I'm going to be picking up next month, but also what I want to do the rest of this week. I also picked up 3 volumes of The 7 Deadly Sins by Nakaba Suzuki, volume 29, volume 30, and volume 31. So The 7 Deadly Sins is a series about a young princess named Elizabeth whose father, the King of Leones, has been overthrown by the Holy Knights, an order of superhuman knights. To defeat the now tyrannical Holy Knights, Elizabeth goes in search of the 7 Deadly Sins, another order of knighthood who are equally superpowered, to retake the throne. So she finds the leader of the 7 Deadly Sins, Melodious, and together they go in search of the other 6 members. Gradually, this conflict then morphs into a renewed invasion of the demons. Millennia ago, there was a great holy war between the demons and everybody else, the goddesses, the mortals, the fairies, and the giants. And that conflict plays a major role in the later part of the series. I've been slowly working my way through, and I now have 10 volumes to go. Although when I will get to actually picking up the rest of them, I don't know. But anyway. I also picked up 5 volumes of Orient by Shinobu Ohtaka, volumes 2, volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, and Volume 6. So, Orient is Shinobu Ohtaka's current series. And it's a historical fantasy set in Sengoku or very early Tokugawa Japan. And in this setting, during the Sengoku period, demons invaded Japan and conquered it. And now the humans are enslaved by the demons, but there's organization fighting back against the demons. And the two main characters desire to join them to fight back against the demons. It's been a very long time since I read Volume 1. It was one of the first ones that I picked up when I decided to get back into manga. And I'm not quite sure what I made of it, but I'm almost finished with this Magi the Labyrinth of Magic. So I'm thinking maybe I should start on her current Otaka's current series, but I don't know, because I remember being a bit ambivalent about the first volume of Orient, so we shall see. I also picked up 6 more volumes of Demon Slayer by Koyoharu Gotouge, so volume 7, volume 8, volume 9, volume 10, volume 11, and volume 12. So, Demon Slayer is a series, it's a historical manga series set in Taisho era Japan, and is about a young man and his sister, Tanjiro and Nezuko, who were attacked by demons. Nezuko was turned into a demon, and Tanjiro goes to train how to become a demon slayer, how to fight demons. And they go in pursuit of the creator of demons for much of the series. So, yeah. Looking forward to that. I've got about 13 volumes of, no, I have, I think, 11 volumes left of that series. And now, to wrap things up, I have volume 22 of Magi the Labyrinth of Magic by Shinobu Ohtaka. So, again, Magi the Labyrinth of Magic is a series inspired by the Arabian Nights, the 1001 Nights, and it's about a young Magi, a super wizard named Aladdin, traveling the world looking for friends. He finds one in Alibaba Saluja, a young man who initially is just a cart driver, but is so much more than that, and together they conquer a dungeon and are joined later by Margiana, a Phaneris who has been enslaved, and they go on adventures. I really love the series, and I'm basically now, I've got 3 volumes left, and those 3 volumes are going to be a pain to get. Just a pain. Hopefully PALS will provide, or hopefully I'll be able to find those 3 volumes somewhere else. I might end up having to pick up the e-copies so I can finish off the series, but I really do not like that idea, because I want those 3 volumes in physical copy. I want the whole series in physical copy, so I don't know quite what I'll do. I also picked up Eden Zero Volume 23 by Hiro Mashima. I talked about this recently because I read it earlier this month. It's Hiro Mashima's current series, although not his newest series. He actually has a new one out called Deadrock, which will be a while before it comes in physical copy in the US, because it just started this month. So Eden Zero is a space fantasy about a young man named Shiki who was raised on a planet of androids. One day he meets a young woman named Rebecca and her exceed companion Happy, and Together they go on adventures after Shiki rescues Rebecca and Happy from being killed by the seemingly malfunctioning androids of Granbell, the tourist planet that Shiki has been lived on. And together they find a ship called the Eden Zero, and they form a crew, and they go in search of Mother, the great cosmic goddess figure, who is being threatened by an evil artificial intelligence named Ziggy, who just so happens to be Shiki's adoptive grandfather. And this volume was fun. I really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait for next month and the next volume of Eden Zero, which should be coming out next month. And finally, volume 18 of Taliban Hanako-kun by AidaIro. So, yeah, I'm going to be reading this volume today. So, Taliban Hanako-kun is a contemporary ghost manga series about a young woman named Nene whose school is incredibly haunted. She's told that if she goes to a particular toilet stall and performs a set ritual, she will be able to summon the spirit known as the Taliban Hanako-san and be granted a wish. Nene goes to the toilet stall, performs the ritual, and summons Hanako-san. However, this particular Hanako-san is the ghost of a young man, Amane, and he tries to grant Nene her wish. It goes horribly wrong, and in exchange for further help, Nene becomes Amane's assistant in regulating the relationships between the living and the supernatural at the school. They meet a young trainee exorcist named Ko Minamoto, who initially tries to exorcise Amane, but later becomes close friends with Nene and Amane, and together they go on all sorts of adventures trying to regulate the relationships between the living and the supernatural at the school. There's a force at the school who is manipulating the rumors, the stories told about the various supernaturals, making them more malevolent, more violent towards the living, and it's up to Amane's group to stop them. And this series is just, it can be silly at times, and those are necessary palate cleansers because the series can also be incredibly horrifying and incredibly brutal. Just absolutely. I've been doing a massive reread of the entire series in preparation for reading volume 18, and oh boy, is it doing a number on me. It has definitely done a number on me, and I cannot wait to talk about it this coming weekly reads. So that was my July book haul. So there are two things that I'm kind of thinking about from this book haul. One is that I do want to do a video specially dedicated to manga, particularly where I see my manga collection going from here. In a way, I think I'm a bit manga'd out. My manga hauls for the last several months have been large, and I am starting to run into the problem of trying to find new series because I am almost finished with a number of the series that I've been collecting. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to, at least for the next few months, pull back a bit on really heavily picking up manga, although that might change. Everything is subject to change with me. And also that, and also certainly next month, and probably for several months going forward, my book hauls will probably be back to predominantly history because there are a number of history titles that are coming out later this year, especially in September, but also in October and even into November that I really want. So I'm going to focus on picking those up. And then also picking up other things. There's also the Kondo History Prize coming out that I do want to follow again this year and anything else. And I'm also feeling an urge to pick up some more literature, basically fiction, poetry, and drama, mostly fiction and some poetry. and also even some science fiction and fantasy. So yeah, so the next book hauls will hopefully be a bit more wide-ranging than they have been, but we shall see. There's no telling where my book buying is going to go over the next few months. But anyway, so videos for the rest of the week. So tomorrow I want to do a tag. I don't know if it's going to be tag necromancy or a new tag. It depends, because I haven't really seen any new tags so far this week, or late last week. So it might be some tag necromancy. In which case I'll kind of do a bit of prep work for that, because I know which one I want to do. And then I also want to do a video talking a bit more about the state of my manga collection and where I want it to go forward for the next bit. And also I might do a writing video, because Steve did do a writing live stream yesterday that I wish I'd commented on, but I didn't, or commented during it. And then anything else that comes to mind. I probably won't be making a reaction video to the Booker, because, yeah, that'd be probably like, why did you pick these? I have a spotty relationship with the book, which I've already talked about, and also with literary fiction. So anyway, and then anything else that comes to mind that I'll try to make a video on. But anyway, BookTube, I'm starting to ramble, so until I see you tomorrow, thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe.